Reformers, welcome to conference. Now, is this god-awful Labour government giving you sleepless nights and insomnia too? Now, you're probably wondering why the sequin jumpsuit and why these ridiculously high heels that I can hardly walk in. Now, no, I'm not auditioning to be a Ginger Spice tribute act. But let me tell you a little story. Now, I co-wrote this song over 20 years ago with a now dearly departed friend, God bless him. At the time, I was in a rock band, and I was always a bit of a rebel. Then I became a Conservative MP, and I dressed more demure, though the rebel was still bubbling away under the surface. Now, as you may have seen when I was outside Downing Street, or calling for Theresa May and Rishi Sunak to resign when there was ruining our country, just like this god-awful Labour government's doing this now. Now, whilst I was a Tory, I attended Reform's Party conference here last year under the guise of a press pass, as I wanted to see for myself, what was this? What was this reform movement that destroyed the Conservatives in last year's election? What was it all about? Ladies and gentlemen, I too was caught by the reform wave. I too experienced that magic, the uniqueness that is reform. And at last, I am home. So I joined the party of the brave. Now I joined because of you, Nigel, because you will save Britain. Now you in the audience are the true believers of Britain, and the rock chick is firmly back. But seriously, we are at this pivotal moment in our nation's history where we find our voice and we fight to save Britain. We have seen across our country an outpouring as our flags fly high from households to lampposts. The British people are demanding to be heard. They are sick of the Labour government. They feel let down by the previous Conservative government, and they are fed up of being back of the queue. Are you fed up too? Now, I proudly wear our country's flag because reform is your voice. We are a nation of insomniacs as Britain is sleepwalking into disaster. But reform is waking up the establishment. So reformers, it's time to unleash our inner Britpop. It's time to unleash the spirit of the British and get to work on saving our country. Now, this is what this conference is really about. Reform, the next step, is so important. Now, it's all time now for all of you to roll up your sleeves and let's get on with halting the decline of our once great nation. Now, in May, I was proud to be elected to become Reform's first mayor of Greater Lincolnshire. And I am also proud that the fantastic Luke, the boxer, was elected too as your mayor of Hull and East Yorkshire. Now, you'll hear from him tomorrow at conference. I'm responsible for 1.1 million people. And I have the responsibility of transport, infrastructure, investment, skills, and housing. And I have a plan. It's a reform blueprint. And I'm creating a microcosm of what reform can do in government. Now, I take this responsibility seriously. And I will deliver my promises to the people of Lincolnshire. Now, Greater Lincolnshire is a strategic national asset. We feed the nation. We are the food valley of the UK. And we supply 70% of the UK's seafood, 29% of vegetables, 16% of poultry, and generated 2.7 billion in agri-food output in 2023. Now, my focus is on innovation potential. My plan is to be world-leading in food chain automation, digital agriculture, and agri-tech. And we are well-positioned to support the UK's ambition to become a science superpower and drive growth in our country and county. Now, agriculture, ag-tech, defense and security, advanced manufacturing, and digital coding, I am committed to also delivering one of our nation's best trade colleges, where our young people can learn building, plumbing, welding, and other trades that are the backbone to rebuild our nation. But Lincolnshire is also renowned for our heroic bomber command. And to honour this, I'm currently working on plans to deliver the UK's first veteran village. They fought for us, and reform will deliver for them. I'm also working on plans to help in protecting our nation and bring together our defence heritage and our future. We plan to unlock the former RAF Scampton, and don't forget the Tories wanted to put migrants in there, and turn it into the most globally innovative, cutting-edge defence and security innovation park. It will be home to a rapidly growing defence cluster, collaborating with the University of Lincoln and industry to develop mission-critical digital technologies. It will protect our nation, and we will have high-speed decision-making in defence operations here in the county of Lincolnshire. Now, together we are committed to work with stakeholders to make this happen. Now, in my growth plan, I aim to power the digital economy. We are well positioned with over 1,400 digital businesses across telecom, software, marketing, and aerospace. And the sector's valued at £992 million. That's just in one county alone. You see, Greater Lincolnshire is not just a rural region. We are a strategic national asset, and reform are going to make the most of this. With reform leadership, investment, and recognition, the county will finally get recognised, and we will deliver transformative outcomes for Britain. Now, on the 22nd of October, put the date in your diary, you're welcome to come along, is my great exhibition. Now, I'm taking inspiration from the Great Exhibition of 1851. It was held during the Industrial Revolution that propelled Victorian Britain to be the greatest superpower of the time. Those were the days, weren't they? Now, my aim is to superpower our economy, shine a light on our amazing county and all that we have to offer. We are truly world-leading in some key industry sectors and have extraordinary potential for investment and innovation. So please join us and see some of the most innovative technologies in the UK. You will meet business, industry, some well-known speakers, some that you know very well. Embassies are exhibiting, and ambassadors will be keynote speakers. Whilst this awful Labour government is damaging our economy and driving away business, myself as your Reform Mayor and Reform are determined to become a beacon of light and hope for industry and demonstrate that we in Lincolnshire, we're open for business. Next month, I'll also hold my first Transport for Greater Lincolnshire meeting. Unlike Sadiq Khan's, which is full of diversity officers, there'll be none on ours. Ours will be a strategic working group of decision makers and stakeholders that is finally committed to delivering transport and infrastructure to get Lincolnshire moving. Now, the county has been badly let down by the former Conservative government, and historically it's received 20% less transport funding than other areas. And this current Labour government, in their recent rounds of transport funding, have bypassed both Luke and I and our areas, but instead chose to give the funding to the Labour Metro mayors. How about booing? But we at Reform, we do care. We are fighting for you. Now, I just want to touch briefly, before I finish, on Mad Ed Miliband, the net zero fanatic. Now, Lincolnshire has become a dumping ground for Miliband's net zero, with application to build 40,000 acres of solar farms on prime agricultural land. Now, Richard Tice and I, we are fighting this, and we recently launched a campaign to push back. We say no to net zero, no to solar farms, and no to pylons desecrating our countryside. We've also been working together to try and save Lindsey Oil Refinery. Now, do you know this is the last British-owned oil refinery in Britain? It's strategically important, and it has a direct oil line to Heathrow. We must save Lindsey Oil Refinery, and we must drill, baby, drill. But Labour, in their net zero hysteria, doesn't care about oil and gas. But we do. And as President Trump said recently, North Sea oil is a treasure chest for Britain, and how Britain has essentially told drillers that we don't want you. Donald is wise, and Reform will not make that mistake. We value oil and gas industries, and we know that they are essential for Britain's energy security and to fuel our nation. So drill, baby, drill. Now, I am also listening. I recently wrote to the council leaders across the whole of Lincolnshire, expressing my concern at a recent newspaper report. Do you know that some of our towns are being pitched to become sanctuary cities for migrants? You know the type, freebies for migrants. But we at Reform say no freebies. We say no to housing migrants in taxpayer-funded hotels. And well done to you British people for fighting back on this. Now, I'm incredibly proud of both Nigel and Zia for their press conference last week. I hope you tuned in, it was amazing. Reform, you've got to admit, Reform has the strongest, most workable plan in Britain. And when we get into government, we will stop the boats. Over the next 2 days, you'll get a taste of what Reform has in store for Britain. But please, I urge you, don't stop there. Get involved. Deliver leaflets, campaign, raise funds for our election war chest. And importantly, tell every person that you encounter about the Reform magic, about how Nigel and Reform are our last chance to truly save Britannia. So, fellow reformers, patriots and believers in Britain, I ask you to please stand up. Be proud to be in the party of the brave. And please repeat after me that Nigel will be Prime Minister. Nigel will be Prime Minister! And we will save Britain. Reform will save Britain! Thank you and have a fantastic conference.